So here we are, Happy New Year's. It's my first vid and the first kilt completed. I started this well before, of course, but completed in the new year. It's January 2nd. And I just wanted, once again, show a few things with you. And also for the benefit of the owner of this kilt, who's holding the camera right now. As I've said before, I make every effort to have the client involved as heavily as possible in the design process of what will be an exponent of their personal style. So he selected the rather novel pleating style, which was invented by a client of mine. I wouldn't have never thought of this, of pleating so that the difference, the breaking point, or the altering, the barrier, whatever you want to call it, between, I haven't got a really sexy name for this yet, the contrast point between two colors is centered, rather than usually you'll take a piece of an element of the design, like a red stripe or the yellow stripe or something like that. And what's great about this, and I hope it shows up in the camera, but it has a bit of a 3D effect because you have some shadowing here, right? So it's going to look really sharp. And what's going to look even sharper still is that when he walks, notice how the yellow line's buried in the pleat? When he walks, he's going to get this flash, flash, flash. And we're really looking forward to that. And I don't know why no one else has picked it up yet. So hello out there in competitor land, get on this, right? Other features, black straps, the early two-tongue style buckle, which was used in army kilts, at least from, I'm going to say the 1850s, 1860s, up until my time. Of course, my time, 60 years, 63 years, these days, but let's say up until the 60s or 70s. On the inside, we have, where's my label, of course, now the apron pleats are quite deep, and the foldovers are also quite deep, because I'm determined with these. You order 8 yards of cloth, we try to end with 8 yards of cloth. So the very deep apron pleats and the very deep fold over, again, I don't have a better name than that, gives us a little more weight when as the apron hangs, when you're standing, when you're moving. The very deep bellows means you get a little bit more swing, a little bit more instant modesty when you sit down. And in the fullness of time, in the future, when our DNA conspires against us and makes us a more solid person, a more prominent profile, as we say, this cloth provides the reserve for all future alterations. The lining of green flannel, we'd hoped for the navy blue, but my supplier wasn't able to turn around in time because Christmas week. But this is a dark bottle green flannel, and I've sewn it so that there's a bit of it's a bit loose, shall we say, because the first reason I chose flannel, cotton flannel, is that the hand helps keep the shirt tucked in. It's somewhat rough, I won't say rough texture, but it's not a shiny, smooth texture. Again, of course, opposed to many kilt linings, which are silk or satin or polished cotton. And the smooth texture means that the shirt tends to untuck over the time. This, less so. And also, it has a couple of pleats, which gives us a bit of looseness, again, to help with keeping the shirt tucked in. In a year or two time, I haven't sewn these down because I want to see how this, the cloth hasn't shown me exactly where it wants to be, basically. So in a year's time, when he's in, or however many months, when he's in town again and brings me the kilt, if he chooses to, and I go, okay, that's what should be, I can sew it down. But in the meantime, it's a little bit loose. It's going to hold on the shirt a little bit better. The other lovely thing about this is this lining isn't as insulating as silk or satin or polished cotton. So you're not going to feel so hot across the kidneys on a hot day. So there we go. We're going to do a final fitting to make sure that we're both happy with it before it goes out the door. And of course, at any time in the future, if he has a question, comment, or concern, I'm right here until I outlive my wits or go and fall off my chair, in which case my apprentice will carry that on as he carries on in my stead. So there we go. Happy New Year. Be nice to each other. Carry on.